Think cars die at 150,000 miles? Wrong. Most cars don't fail. Their owners kill them with tiny daily mistakes. Meanwhile, some drivers hit 700,000 miles on the same models. Today, we're exposing 15 habits to make your car last forever and debunking myths that wreck engines. Stick around for a 10-second trick that could save you thousands. Let's dive in. 15. Do a weekly walk-around. Most of the ugliest wallet-breaking repairs start out as tiny signs most people ignore. A slow tire leak that could have been patched for $10 ends up becoming a blowout that destroys the entire wheel. A little green drip under the car becomes a full coolant dump on the freeway. A single burned-out light bulb can be a hint that moisture is getting into a housing, ready to corrode wiring that costs hundreds to repair. A weekly walk-around stops those stories before they become tragedies. It takes less than 2 minutes. Just park, hop out, and just look. Check if one tire looks odd. Check if your headlights and brake lights are alive. Glance under the car for any puddles or drips. High mileage owners build this into their lifestyle. Their cars never surprise them with disasters because they never give disasters the chance to grow. 14. Check the oil level by hand every 1 to 2 weeks. Modern dashboards make people lazy. They wait for a light to come on, thinking that's protection, not realizing by the time a warning appears, the engine may already be wounded. Engines slowly burn oil as they age, and if you don't manually check the dipstick, you can run dangerously low without ever knowing. Low oil means the metal inside spins without lubrication, grinding away the engine's lifespan mile by mile. Pulling the dipstick takes 30 seconds. Wipe, dip, check, top up if needed. Doing this regularly is the difference between a healthy engine at 400,000 miles and a seized engine at 140,000. Million-mile drivers treat the dipstick like a sacred ritual because they know this habit isn't small. It's survival. 13. Change the oil on the right schedule and use the right oil. Oil isn't just slippery fluid, it's temperature control, friction protection, and cleanliness in one. Over time, oil breaks down, thickens, and turns into sludge that blocks vital passages. Push your change interval too far and the engine starves from the inside. People who cross 500,000 miles do something smart. They match oil changes to how they drive. For short trips where the engine never warms up fully, change your oil every 3,000 miles, not the 10,000 miles in the owner's manual. Same for towing, high heat, or stop-and-go traffic. And they never gamble with the wrong grade or cheap brands. They pick the correct oil once and stick with it, because consistency helps the engine stay calibrated. Fresh oil keeps the engine young. Neglect turns that same engine old very fast. Number 12. Rotate tires and keep them balanced and aligned. Tires affect far more than traction. When one tire wears unevenly, the entire car begins to fight itself. The suspension strains to keep the vehicle straight. The steering system constantly corrects, adding invisible wear. Even the engine works harder because rolling resistance goes up. Rotating tires every oil change ensures all four share the workload evenly. Keeping them balanced prevents vibrations that shake important parts, wheel bearings, electronics, interior wiring, slowly killing them over time. Alignment keeps every wheel pointed exactly where the engine intends, so no energy is wasted in a tug-of-war against misdirection. A car that rolls smoothly is a car that lasts longer. It's that simple. 11. Replace filters regularly. Your engine breathes air and drinks fuel, and bad filters choke and poison it. A dirty air filter forces the engine to gasp for oxygen, causing carbon buildup and sluggish power. A clogged fuel filter makes the pump work overtime and sends dirty fuel to injectors, wearing out parts that cost hundreds to replace. Replacing filters isn't fancy, but it keeps performance sharp and strain low. It may not feel like a big deal. It's just a filter, right? But this is how long-mile cars stay strong. Every breath and every drop of fuel arrives clean. And while the cabin filter is mainly for the passengers, there's truth to this. Drivers who enjoy being in their cars take better care of them. Happy driver, healthier machine. Number 10. Keep fluids topped and flushed on schedule. Your car is a network of tiny moving parts that all rely on fluid to survive. Over time, every fluid slowly turns into its worst version of itself. Coolant loses its corrosion protection and starts eating the engine from the inside. Brake fluid absorbs moisture and becomes spongy, making the brake system weaker and allowing rust to slowly invade critical components. Transmission fluid breaks down from heat and stress, letting clutches slip and metal particles circulate. A death sentence if ignored long enough. Long-lasting cars have owners who treat fluids the same way doctors treat blood work. Check often, change before failure. They pop the hood not only to look, but to learn. Is the coolant at the right mark? Is the color changing? Any burnt smell in the transmission fluid? They follow the manufacturer's intervals, not internet myths. And they always refill the spec, because fluids aren't just there, they each have a specific strategic job. If you want to get 700,000 miles out of your car, you need to do something most drivers don't. Never let fluids turn into poison. 9. Replace belts, hoses, and brakes before they fail. A broken timing belt can destroy an engine instantly. A cracked coolant hose can leave you stranded miles from home on a scorching highway shoulder. Thin brake pads can ruin rotors that cost 10 times more to replace. Every car has a list of parts that slowly degrade with time. Not in a dramatic movie-style explosion, but inch by inch, silently moving toward the day they snap. Owners of long-lived cars act before failure. They don't say, "It's still working, so it's fine." They say, "It's working for now." And that's why their vehicles never see catastrophic failure. Replacing a belt early might feel unnecessary, but it's a cheap investment in peace of mind. Changing brake pads before metal touches metal means the braking system always operates like new. Swapping aging hoses prevents the sudden overheat that warps an entire engine block. A car doesn't blow up without warning. It whispers the warning first. The smartest owners listen before the whisper becomes a scream. 8. Drive gently. Aggressive driving feels exciting for a moment, but every red line shift, every slam on the brakes, every launch like you're on a racetrack, slices a piece off the car's lifespan. Mechanical parts don't heal. Once worn, they stay worn. Smooth drivers keep stress low. Bearings glide rather than slam. Transmission clutches engage cleanly instead of frying under sudden shock. Brakes last longer because they're not constantly saving the car from panic stops. Driving gently doesn't mean driving slowly. It means driving smart. Accelerate like you're pouring a drink, not popping a balloon. Let the car glide into stops rather than attacking the brake pedal. Treat every component like you want it to still work perfectly 10 years from now. Cars that reach insane mileage almost always belong to someone who treated the throttle like a string, not a button, and the brake pedal like a friend, not a punching bag. Smoothness is free, and it pays back with years, even decades of extra life. 7. Warm it up sensibly and cool it down after heavy driving. When an engine is cold, the oil is thick and not yet fully circulating. Metal parts haven't expanded to their ideal shape. Drivers who get over the 500K mark understand this. The first 5 minutes of every drive are the most important minutes of the car's entire life. You don't need to sit idling in the driveway forever. Just drive gently, avoid heavy throttle, and let the engine reach operating temperature before asking it to work hard. The same goes in reverse. After long highway runs, steep climbs, or any time a turbocharger has been spinning hot, let the car idle briefly before shutoff, so oil can cool and protect the turbo bearings. That tiny pause, around 20 to 60 seconds, can prevent repairs costing thousands. Engines that die young lived hard when they were cold. Engines that grew old were always treated kindly when waking up. 6. Maintain and protect the cooling system. Heat is the #1 enemy of engines that try to live forever. When cooling fails, even once, the damage can be permanent. Overheating warps cylinder heads, head gaskets blow, oil breaks down instantly. Yet most people treat the cooling system like an afterthought until the temperature gauge climbs into danger. Long life owners take cooling seriously. A fresh thermostat ensures the engine always runs at the temperature it was designed for. Not too hot, not too cold. Clean coolant protects internal passages from corrosion that slowly chokes the engine. Replacing brittle hoses before they crack prevents those infamous roadside steam clouds. Even the radiator fan matters. If it's weak or dead, the engine cooks in traffic. Cooling isn't just another checkbox, it's a shield. And a shield ignored becomes a sword pointed at the engine. 5. Treat your transmission like gold. Most drivers ignore their transmission until it starts groaning like an old elevator. But this is one of the most expensive and complex components in your car. And with a little care, it can last well beyond 500,000 miles. Automatic transmissions generate a ton of heat, especially in stop-and-go traffic or when towing. And that heat breaks down transmission fluid faster than most people realize. Once the protective additives are gone, metal shavings start circulating through the system, wearing gears and valves from the inside out. That's when you start feeling jerky shifts and seeing dollar signs. Changing transmission fluid isn't a suggestion, it's a survival strategy. Even sealed transmissions still need periodic service. Smooth, clean fluid keeps everything gliding effortlessly. Also, shift gently. Don't drop into drive while still rolling backward or slam into park before the car fully stops. Such small moments of rough handling are what shorten a transmission's lifespan. But treated right, this powerhouse can run to 700,000 miles without a whimper. 4. Protect your car from the sun and weather. Most people think mileage is what ages a car, but the environment can be just as brutal. UV rays bake your paint, dry out rubber seals, and make plastic parts crack and crumble long before the engine ever gives up. Extreme heat weakens batteries and accelerates fluid breakdown. Extreme cold thickens oil, stiffens belts, and stresses every startup. And humidity destroys metal from the inside out. If you want your car to last long, learn to park in shade whenever possible. Use windshield shades to keep the dashboard from warping and electronics from overheating. Also, wax your paint a few times a year. Not just to make your car look shiny, but to create a protective shield against sun and rain. Even small habits make a massive difference over time. A garage, a car cover, even just choosing the shady side of the parking lot, these are the invisible protectors of long-term durability. 3. Follow the 30-second rule when starting and stopping. Engines naturally build pressure. Oil pressure, fuel pressure, coolant flow, and they don't like sudden interruptions. When you start the car, that first half minute is when all your fluids are finding their rhythm. Hammering the throttle instantly is like sprinting right after waking up. It's just not healthy. Likewise, shutting the car off immediately after towing a trailer or blasting down a highway at high RPM leaves hot oil pooling in places it shouldn't be, burning into sludge. The 30-second rule is a professional mechanic's secret. Start the car and allow at least 30 seconds of gentle operation before asking for power, and give the car a brief moment to unwind before you park. Those 30-second windows are where the magic happens. Your engine gets the care it needs to go from ordinary lifespan to long-distance marathon runner. 2. Pay attention to sounds, smells, and feelings. Cars rarely fail without sending warnings first. Little whispers that something isn't right. A slight vibration at highway speeds. A burnt rubber smell after parking. A faint clicking when turning. Most drivers ignore these signals because the car still drives fine. But seasoned high milers act differently. They listen. A new noise could be as simple as a loose heat shield, or the early cry of a failing wheel bearing that might seize or shred a tire. A sweet syrupy smell? Coolant leak. Catch it now, avoid a blown head gasket later. A steering feel that's just a touch heavier? Power steering pump or low fluid waiting to fail at the worst possible time. The longest lasting cars don't survive by luck. They survive because their owners solve small problems before they grow teeth. 1. Maintenance isn't a task, it's a lifestyle. Reaching 700,000 miles isn't something that happens at one big moment. It's the result of thousands of tiny acts of care. The owners of million-mile Toyotas, Hondas, Volvos, and trucks all have the same story. They stay on top of everything. Oil changes every time. Filters replaced before they clog. Fluids refreshed before they degrade. And they keep clear records so nothing slips through the cracks. The most important part? They actually care about their cars. They clean the interior, wash the exterior, protect the paint, keep rubber seals conditioned, and store the car away from extreme weather. They treat the car like a long-term investment, not a disposable machine. cars reward that mindset with loyalty far beyond what the manufacturer ever promised. Because yes, most cars are built strong enough to survive hundreds of thousands of miles. The real challenge isn't the engineering, it's the owner. If you want more tips that will save you money and keep your ride on the road longer, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and drop a comment with how many miles your car has right now. Let's see who's on their way to the next big milestone.